Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the pre-match build-up for the game between Manchester United and Ipswich Town. Will it be a repeat of Amorim's first game in charge, or will it simply be a victory at Old Trafford? Finally, can we actually put in a convincing performance in front of the fans, the 75,000 people at Old Trafford? Can it be done? I'm not entirely sure. But this is the starting lineup for people on TikTok who don't have the ability to see this. On YouTube, there is a graphic up, and Onana starts in net. We don't have any other goalkeeper, so simple as that, people. Yoro, Maguire, and De Ligt is your back three. I'm presuming, De Ligt's going to be on the left-hand side. Or maybe it's Yoro, but the majority of the time when them three are in a combination, it is De Ligt who's chosen on the left. So, Yoro, Maguire, and De Ligt, because Mazraoui did have a slight knock. However, he is in the team, as far as I'm aware. He is on the bench, so he can feature if we do need him to. But yeah, it's De Ligt, Yoro, Maguire. That's the back three, okay? We've got Dalot, Bruno, Ugarte, and Dorgu as the four. That seems like a consistent kind of combination at the minute, at least for the past couple of games. It has been since Dorgu's come into the team, so very excited to get into that, and excited to talk about the individuals as well. And then the front three is the front three, because again, people, guess what? We don't have anybody else who can play in that role, basically. We do. That's a lie. I'm lying there. I'm lying to everyone. Barefaced lying. We do have Chido, we do have youngsters, but I'm saying, like, in terms of senior players, we don't really have anyone available. So this team was pretty guessable. If you go back and watch the preview that me and Sam actually did, you will see that, basically, that we said this exact team, but we said there was players that we wouldn't mind seeing personally get some minutes on the pitch, whether that be Sekou Kone, whether that be Chido Obi Martin, whether that be Aiden Heaven, whatever his name is, however you pronounce it, sorry. So yeah, look, as we go through the starting 11s, we always like to do things, kind of talk about players specifically and go through the team with a fine-tooth comb, right? So that's what we're going to do. So make sure anyone in YouTube or TikTok, get involved in the comment section, let us know what you think about that side, and any kind of worries that you have, anything in the back of your mind that you want to talk about, anything tactically that you want to debate about Ipswich, or luckily, if there is any Ipswich fans that are in the YouTube or the TikTok, get at me and we can have a conversation about it. But yeah, going through this team with a fine-tooth comb, as I alluded to. Onana in net is a problem for me and has been a problem for a long, long time. What's come to light at the minute, we always known that he's had mistakes in his locker, but at the moment, he's parrying balls straight back into the opposition, and we're conceding goals from it. And this is kind of basic, fundamental 101 shit when it comes to goalkeeping, right? If a shot gets, blasted at you, you parry it out for a corner, or you just simply put it out of the danger area. That's what you should be doing. What he's doing is, as soon as he gets shot, push it straight back to him. Easy finish, easy tap in for them. And it's happened again for the past couple of games. The diving technique is, for me, like Sam suggested on the show yesterday, it is flawed. I remember looking into and doing some research about this when he was at Ajax. And the time he was at Ajax, and they actually started recording data on it. That he was, when he was starting to dive early, there was people talking that it's actually more effective than what the kind of regular goalkeeper, if you will, was doing. So they continued with it and persisted with it, but for some just strange, bizarre reason, since he's come to the Premier League, I mean, I'm going to do an individual video on this because it deserves it, so I'm not going to go in depth on it at the moment, but he has made so many mistakes, like an outrageous amount of mistakes. For only being at Manchester United for 2 seasons, it's been crazy how bad he's been. So we could do with a decent performance against him. In fairness, in the last Ipswich game, he made a really good save from Liam Delap. So yeah, look, I'm hoping he has a good performance today. But speaking specifically on Onana, they're my worries at the moment. As we go into the back three, I think Yoro is someone who can certainly improve on the ball. Had a slip up, obviously, against Southampton. Really struggled with Soleimani on that left-hand side. But since that, he's been relatively comfortable. We know he's got the pace. We know he's got the strength. And he's going to grow into that role in that right-sided centre-half if he is there tonight. He'll grow into it. He's still young, still learning his trade, and got a lot of stuff to improve on. And I think his ability on the ball, I actually think he's really good on the ball. But he's not shown it quite yet. I remember in pre-season, there was a couple of switches of play that he did. I think when he was playing in Edinburgh. Like, he was showcasing certain bits, which I think you can do a bit more, in a pre-season game. In the Premier League, it feels like at the moment he's kind of, trying to keep it simple, which, again, I'm okay with that. I'm all right with it. Maguire, for me, at the minute, I think is in bad form. And I don't think it's being spoken about enough for me personally. It's not like I want to, go on a rant and charge and make it the biggest topic of United at the minute, because there's worse things going on, believe me, especially, with everything that's going on with Ineos and stuff. So it's not like really noticeably bad, but it's getting to that point for me at the minute. I think against Everton, he was really bad. He was clunky. He was rash. There was shades there of the old Maguire, which I really, really didn't like. And when you have shaky people in your back line, that then spreads throughout your full team. When you've got Maguire and Onana, if you're a player in that back line, if you're a young player like Yoro, where's the confidence come from to say, no, do you know what, I can push forward, I can do this, because the guy next to me is absolutely solid. If Gary Neville wanted to wander and bomb forward, he's got Rio Ferdinand next to him, and he's got Roy Keane as well next to him. He's going to be protected. He's got confidence. Now if a player pushes forward, or there's a bit of a transition or a counter-attack, are you trusting Harry Maguire? Are you trusting Onana? You're not. So that's where the shakiness comes from, and that's the core of your team. Do you know what I mean? That's your defence. That should be the strongest part mentally and physically, and it's not. De Ligt maybe is a slight marginal upgrade on Maguire. I do think they have similar qualities, to be fair. Both of them, I mean, I was speaking to Carl Anker before, just trying to wrap my head around this system and get the specifics, because when you want to know something, or when you don't understand something, you go to clever people who can explain it, right? So I was speaking to him about this and about the centre-backs and how De Ligt and Maguire are similar in certain aspects and how we need more athleticism and intensity in the team. And I think it's important. De Ligt, for me, like he's probably a 6 out of 10 every game, right? Roughly. I need an 8 out of 10 every game. Good is not good enough for United. You can't just be decent-ish every game. You need to be high level, top level, standing out. And for me, he's been average. If people might call that harsh, sue me. Don't care. Right, I'll go back into the midfield and the wing backs in a minute and speak about them specifically, but let me get into the comments. Random guy saying, I like the lineup and the bench. We don't have any other goalkeepers that are currently fit. I think Bayern is close to returning to fitness. Punch Paint saying, we have to start well. First goal is ours. Big up to the random guy. Difference was De Ligt. He's got an engine. He's absolutely rapid. Maguire turns like a box. Like a bus. Sorry, not like a box. I don't know if he's rapid. I think De Ligt straight line speed is relatively quick, but straight line and short burst and directional sprints are all completely different. I'm not an expert on athletics, obviously, because look at me. But I just know straight line speed is different to kind of adjustment speed. Do you know what I'm saying? It's completely different. So I don't think he's rapid. He can keep pace more than Maguire can. But in terms of, I'm talking like mobility and agility and, quick transitions, they struggle at times. They are a little bit, caught up in a web, if you will. That's just the assessment that I wanted to make with them. Please do smash the like on the video, by the way, if you are on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel as well. We're on 13,047 subs on YouTube. So there isn't anyone... If there isn't anyone, in the TikTok who hasn't subscribed yet, please do. We're live every single night, but appreciate everyone in the comment section as well. Keep getting your comments in, and I'll get to them momentarily. Moving into the wing backs and the midfield, Diego Dalot, for me, will never ever suit wing back. I don't know about you lot, but me personally, I've watched Dorgu now for the past couple of games, and I know he's only just come to the club, right? I get it, but the amount he's bombing forward, overlapping runs, underlapping, taking players out the game, 1v1, putting crosses into the box. You see none of that from Dalot. I feel like he spends all of his time parked on the halfway line. That's all we see from Dalot. He looks either shot of confidence or he doesn't want to beat a man. Like, I remember when he first kind of came to United and when he went out on loan to your Milans and stuff, he was like step overs, beating a man, whipping a ball into the box. I want to see more of that, especially if you're a wing back. You've got license to go forward. You've got Lenny Yoro behind you, and you've got Ugarte next to you. What are you so afraid of? Push forward. Have faith and confidence. And he doesn't do it enough. I just don't think he's a good enough player, to be honest with you. I think I've made my assessment pretty clear on Diego Dalot. I hope he does. Listen, I hope he does. I hope he does well. But for me, I'm not convinced at all. And in fairness to Aaron as well, I mean, he was calling this years ago. He was saying, don't care if he's just in a great run of form at the moment. He's not a good player. I think we are starting to see that a little bit. Ugarte next to him, had a period in December, January, I feel like, where he was kind of peaking. He had a dip. He was kind of peaking near the Anfield game. I felt like he was really good. You also had a couple of performances, Arsenal as well. I think he was key in. There was some big performances from Manuel Ugarte. Then he had a bit of a dip, which, it's his first season. It's going to happen. And he's just smashed a volley in against Everton on it. So hopefully that'll give him the world of confidence. He is very important in that midfield because without him, people, we are playing Casemiro or Christian Eriksen, who you might as well go to your local care home, pick up your nana or granddad, God rest her soul, take them out of the tartan blanket, take the Werthers out the mouth and say, get on that pitch, mate. It's time to go, Nana. You know what I mean? So I would much rather... imagine if we've got an interview in the future with Casemiro and Eriksen and I've just said that. And I'm like, do you remember that thing that you said about me being in a care home, basically? It's all tongue-in-cheek, people. It's not disrespect, you know what I'm saying? So, Ugarte being out of midfield, hugely important. Bruno, again... key in the comeback, obviously. Got a free kick, basically got the assist for Ugarte's goal as well. He has that capability of driving the team. I think every United fan knows with Bruno, he is over-emotional. He can commit too much, almost. He tries doing other players' jobs for them on the pitch out due to lack of frustration and wanting to win. And you can't knock a man for that, but looking at it objectively, you can knock a man for that. Because it does ruin the game plan at times. It does kind of... But then other players should be pulling the weight. Absolutely. I get that. So you can't moan at him. It's a weird... It's like a double-edged sword, isn't it? Very, very strange with Bruno Fernandes. But if we didn't have him over these past 6 years, or however long he's been at the club for now, we would be fucked. Absolutely fucked. So, yeah. Hopefully he has a good performance tonight, but I want to see it from minute one. I felt like Paul Scholes made a really, really good point about this in the overlap, and he was speaking about basically how, it's great that he's done it from the 70th minute onwards, but where the fuck was it from minute 1? That's where the game's won. We don't we're relying on chaos and moments too much. That chaos and moments has been a theory for United under 4 different managers, basically. Mourinho, he was relying on moments at times. Same thing with Ole, same thing with Ten Hag, and you're seeing the same thing with Amorim now. Players like Bruno stepping up, scoring a free kick. So we need more consistency, and that's the message for the rest of the team as well. Dorgu, alongside him, has literally just come into the team. So, you can't be too critical. Looks promising. Really excited to watch him again tonight. I want to see how he gets on. Hopefully it's not just a kind of flash in the pan bit of form and then he dips. Hopefully he continues this run that he's playing. I think him and Bruno actually had a really good relationship on the pitch. And like when I was talking about Diego Dalot before, not offering those overlapping runs or underlapping runs, Dorgu does that. He bombs forward. And he looks like he don't give a shit. And that's he's fearless. And that is one of the things you need. And he's athletic. Athleticism is the biggest word you can use in this team right now. We are craving it so much. And he offers it at least a little bit. The front three, Xerxes, Højlund, Garnacho, for me, I'm trying to think of the biggest rivals ever. You might as well put, John Cena, Randy Orton, and the Big Show up top. Just 3 opposite people, basically. There's no cohesion. Creativity is lacking. They're not looking for each other when the ball. Xerxes is slightly different because he is one of those 9.5 who can drag centre-backs out and play people in behind. But all of them, first touch, decision-making in the key areas, not good enough for any of them. I remember that chance that Garnacho missed against Tottenham. Fucking criminal. Criminal for me. So, yeah, we need more from them 3, but that's just been a topic all season that we've all been moaning at, and rightfully so, because none of them have been nowhere near good enough. You're watching the games yesterday, there was players in that game that scored 2 goals. Mateta scored 2 yesterday, right? In one game, already equaling Højlund's record. Obviously, his overall record is, he's up there with nearly like the Isaacs and Chris Woods and stuff. Mateta's doing extremely well. And by the way, just having Mateta in our team would change us, completely the whole landscape. But yeah, anyway, sorry, I feel like I'm ignoring the comments. Let's go back into the YouTube comments. Big up Nick, Random, and Punch. How are we this evening? Very well, James. I'm all right at the moment until United kick off, and then ask me after the game how I'm feeling. because I really don't know what to expect tonight, to be honest with you guys. Doing well, hope you're doing well too. Our wing-backs have been attacking, but Dalot can't fall asleep on his defensive duties. Diogo got away with it playing left. But now there's no excuse for poor performances. Amarin playing favourites. I don't know if he's playing favourites. Who else would you put there? I think Majari's picked up an injury. No Ahmad. It's Dalot. That's the only player that you can play. Blazing Zari says, that front three always makes me feel sick to the stomach. That is strong description. Onana cannot let us down today. I love Bruno, but he's Jekyll and Hyde. When was the last time Dalot put a cross in? I can't remember. Is it the Titanic meme where she says it's been 84 years? Because that's how long it feels. He doesn't like to put crosses into the box, and it baffles me. Because Højlund needs that kind of service. Højlund has been bad in his own right, and I'll argue that to the absolute depths. He has, but he's not been great at all. But also, you look at his underlying numbers. Gabriel from Arsenal is having more shots per game than Højlund. That cannot happen if you're a number 9 for Man United. He needs more service. Simple as that. Rayanator in the chat. Big up Rayanator. I just hope we win tonight so all the people shouting relegation could just stop. Couldn't care for the league now and just want the cups. UTFR saying Onana disaster class incoming. I don't like this. Everyone keeps mentioning about this. He's got to go in the summer. I don't like Garnacho starting. He's miles better off the bench. I do agree with that. I really want to see Garnacho address Dorgu's runs. Could completely change the game. You gotta fight for your right. Ugarte. That's the one punch. Thank you for that. We can't lose tonight, can we? Oh, we can, Kevin. We certainly can. We can always lose. Don't worry about that, mate. No matter what opposition's in front of us, it can happen. I'll say my prediction towards the end in terms of the thing, but I've got a result in my head that I'm thinking of. I want to see if you guys feel the same. Random guy who's been a member of the Real Reds Ultra for 8 months has just said, as if Ipswich come at us like versus Spurs, we are cooked. Yeah. And I'm going to dive into the specifics, tactics very, very shortly. I think it's important to. Just let me get through the rest of these comments. I love the 40 skills we're seeing from Xerxes, I think it is. But he's got to start with pass completion up, same with all midfielders. Hutchinson and Delap starting. So Ipswich team, Palmer, Twanzebe, O'Shea, Greaves, Davis, Morse, Kajust, Philogene, Hutchinson, Clark, and Delap. Can I just say, obviously Philogene came from Aston Villa, right? I think it was. How, if he doesn't have a chant for Ipswich, that isn't the famous Michael Jackson song, what are we doing? Everyone might as well pack the bags up and go home. That is a tapping of a chant. Surely. How would you do it? I don't know. Feel a genius, not my lover. Oh, he's just a guy who goes and scores all the goals. That's off the top of my head. Do you know what I mean? That's got to be... Yeah, there we go, Raynator. Philogene is not my lover. That's the... Every time I hear that name, I just think... Woo! Woo! What an absolute classic that is. Get it done, Ipswich. Get it done. Right, let's talk about tactics then. We've spoke about individuals for a good, solid, probably 20, 25 minutes, something along the lines of that. The start here for United is important. And I've got a statistic for you, okay? So, ears open. Have a listen to this. United have only scored one first-half goal in their past 17 games in all competitions, which was a Bruno Fernandes penalty in a 3-1 home loss to Brighton. That's me Salford coming out of me there. Based on available data, United have scored a total of 30 goals in 26 matches, averaging 1.15 goals per game. Of these goals, 9 of them were scored in the first half. So Brighton, Forest, Everton, Ipswich, Leicester twice, and Southampton twice. The other 21 scored in the second half, which would indicate approximately 32% of our goals are scored in the first half and 68% are scored in the second. So listen, concentration, focus, energy from minute one is a no negotiating on that one. Non-negotiable, I should have said. We cannot afford to be flat from minute one, especially at Old Trafford. You know, I hope... I was trying to get to this game. It was a bit awkward in terms of with the channel and stuff. That's what you call dedication, people. But I'm hoping that the fans in the stadium tonight are really behind the play and just give it that kind of atmosphere where it's like so strong. It's so... You just can't ignore it. I'm hoping it's like that. But the atmosphere at Old Trafford at the minute has been very... neither here or there. It's been, and I understand it because there is a big cloud over United at the moment. So I get why it is kind of that kind of feel. But I just hope the fans are up for it tonight. On Ipswich, we know they like to flood the box with players, leaving themselves vulnerable. So the option for a counter-attack, a quick transition, is there. You can get at him. You can definitely get at him. The issue is with that, I'm not worried about, we don't necessarily play like, obviously, under Ole, like the counter-attacking nature. It is different under Amorim now. But you still have players who are capable of playing that pass, like Bruno Fernandes. The issue is with us, when we get into the attacking phase, it has to click together. And I was talking about the attack before. They don't work as a unit. Go and watch Sporting against Man City and watch Trincao, Goncalves and Gyökeres as the three. They just click. They get it. They work well together. Gyökeres is a bagsman. Trincao is rapid, can run at players, tricky. And then Goncalves is a little bit different. Like Xerxes is a little bit different, for example. So it's so dependent on when you get that ball up to Højlund, rather than wrestling with a centre-back, take care of the ball, and then shift it out to an attacker, and then your attacking phase starts then. A lot of the times, Højlund's wrestling, it's a bit of a scruffy touch, the team get back, and then you have to break him down again. That's where the fundamentals break down for me with Rasmus. But also as well, it's decision-making from the players around him and the passing around him. So I get both sides of the argument, but if we're going to hurt Ipswich tonight, obviously the emphasis is on us, right? We've got possession, or we should do for the majority of the period, 60-40%, right? Ipswich, when they have the ball, they will play, they will attack, and they will flood the box with numbers, and they will leave space. And it's United's job to attack that space. Not only just to add to that as well, Ipswich's defensive organisation on set piece is flawed at times if you've watched them this season. And because we now have more height in the team, Maguire, De Ligt's quite good in the air, that like we've seen. Xerxes is a big lad. Højlund's a big lad. Yoro's quite a big lad as well. You've got some units in there. Dorgu coming in who's quite strong. So, the set piece could be very important today. And obviously we scored from a set piece. 2 set pieces, didn't we, in the last game? Bruno obviously scored from a free kick, and then Ugate's goal effectively came from a free kick as well. So, utilise what you are good at, or play to your strengths, is what one might say. If you watch, because I watched the last game from Ipswich against Spurs in depth in order to prepare for this game, to know what to kind of expect. And Brennan Johnson on their left-hand side was murdering him, caused problems all game. Now with us, because we're deploying Xerxes on that left-hand side, or our right-hand side, should I say, obviously he doesn't have the pace and directness of that Brennan Johnson does. So, I don't know, from a tactical point, from a manager point, do you switch Xerxes and Garnacho? Do you deploy Garnacho right and have him hitting those runs on the right-hand side? But he is better cutting in off the left, isn't it? So that's one to make for the manager personally. Xerxes isn't that guy who's going to run at players and drag centre-backs out going forward with his runs. He's someone who's going to drop in. So someone needs to attack that space, whether that be Højlund or Dalot when he does make those moves. That's really, really key and important for me. At United, I feel like even now when you watch us, the same issues that you saw under Erik ten Hag, the spacing issues, covering distance, not playing together as a unit, the experienced players not commanding the team, I'm still seeing this in a lot of the games. The decisions on the ball, panicking in crucial moments, all those layers we've seen year in, year out are still there, and we haven't addressed them. And I don't think you're really going to see it until the summer. McKenna would absolutely love to batter Amorim. You can sense it. Harry needs to smash the lap early on and let him know he's not getting bullied tonight. Absolutely. Do you know what? The lap's a bit of a shit house as well. He'll give it the lap as much as he'll take it. So, pause. I saw that, James. We need more of that from Bruno. Has everyone seen Ted Lasso where James says, "Don't play to me, play through me"? I haven't seen it. You know what? Ted Lasso, I've not watched yet. I do need to watch that. People keep telling me I've literally not seen it. It's cold. That's from Kevin McEverly. Did anyone hear Dalot say they were buying into the tactics against Everton? I heard it at Talk of the Devils podcast. Yeah, second half. It was noticeable the first half. They weren't buying into shit. I hate that TNT have all the games. Really wanted to watch the Spurs, City, Forest, Arsenal, and Liverpool, Newcastle game. Yeah, there's some belting games on tonight, isn't there? Some really, really good games. tonight. Let's get the fixtures up, and then I'll dive back into the game. I don't want to bore everyone with my tactical analysis, but there's some really, really good games. Brentford and Everton. People talk about Tottenham, City, Liverpool, Newcastle, rightfully so. I get it. And Nottingham Forest and Arsenal, by the way, is another belting game, which I think Forest will definitely get a result tonight. Brentford and Everton is such a good game. That's such a good game for me. I'll be watching them all tonight anyway after the game finishes. Obviously, United is the priority, so smash that subscribe button. But you're absolutely right in pointing out those games. Can't wait for them. Yeah. Right, back to just a little bit of analysis. We'll go through some stats and then we'll talk about Ipswich as well. In the Everton game, a couple of things I noticed. Bruno Fernandes and Dorgu had something blossoming there. Something to keep an eye on, I think. I watched Ahmad when he first came into the team, when he had his little cameo against Nottingham Forest. And who was the first player that he linked up with? It was Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno Fernandes has that vision and creativity and spatial awareness that I wish a lot of our other fucking players had. But him and Dorgu on that left side. Why is it always the left side with United? Honestly, I don't get it. Do you remember when we had Rashford, Pogba, Shaw? When they played, all the left side's dangerous. But then we had, I think it was under Ollie, Dan James, Wan-Bissaka, and I don't know who it was who would typically play on the right-sided central midfield. Like McTominay, let's say. Dead. So dead. No threat whatsoever. The times are gone where it's like, can we just have a threat on both sides? Can we bring in Kenda from Sporting, put him as right wing back? We've got Dorgu at left wing back. Deploy Bruno a bit further. Ahmad back from injury, and then his threats from either side then. And not just one, because one's are much more easy to nullify. You look at Liverpool, you're like, oh, don't worry, we'll try and deal with Salah over on here, even though he's having a Ballon d'Or winning season, arguably. But we've got Gakpo equally on the other side, who's causing problems. And then when that happens, Diaz is drifting out. And then we've got fucking Szoboszlai bombing on forward. Like, they've got threats everywhere. We don't. We have one side, and that's it. So I want to see their partnership develop, Bruno and Dorgu. That's our attacking outlet. Simple as that. Feed more balls into the box, because Højlund's living off scraps at the minute, and phases of play from that side. If we are going to score or get anything worth of merit, I think that's where it's going to come from. So, yeah. Right, let me read out a couple stats for you, and I'll get back into the comments section. If you are just joining, the team for United against Ipswich is Onana, Yoro, Maguire, and De Ligt. Dalot, Bruno Fernandes, Ugarte, and Dorgu, Xerxes, Højlund, and Garnacho. Makes up your front three. I'll get into the subs bench momentarily. But yeah, let me read out the stats for you. So, Ipswich were the last side to beat Manchester United at Old Trafford in the league. In the game, the host led at half-time in May 1984. United are unbeaten in 388 such games since then. Meanwhile, United are unbeaten in their past 7 home league games against Ipswich Town and have won the past 3 by an aggregate score of 15-0. Good start again. Ipswich have just kept 1 clean sheet in the past 23 league meetings, a goalless draw at Old Trafford in November 1993. Man United, this is the last one, have just occurred 15 points from a possible 42 since Ruben Amorim took charge in November. Not great, is it? Doesn't read well for the manager at all, but given the circumstance at the moment, it makes it a bit more understandable, because he's coming mid-season to one of the most worst assembled squads in history, and he's trying to implement a style in the Premier League, which is the toughest league in the world. So, it is what it is. So, Ipswich, last 5 games, no wins, 1 draw, 4 losses. This season, they've scored 24 goals and conceded 54. Only Wolves, Leicester, and Southampton have conceded more. Now, on the manager, I rate him. I like him. I think he's really good. I like the brand of football that he's trying to play. However, it's very difficult in the Premier League when you don't have a certain level, a certain echelon of a player to stay up, right? Obviously, they have Liam Delap, who's quality, and will get a Premier League move, whether it's United or whether it's someone else. He will stay in the Premier League because he's good. He's proven. He's got 10 goals so far this season. Like, there's something there, and he's only 21, 22 years old. There are clubs looking at him. Chelsea, potentially City again, United. He'll get his move. But the overall golfing class, for me, it's so evident. Obviously, the 3 teams that come up are going back down again. Southampton, Leicester, and Ipswich are all going back down to the Championship, it looks like. So there's still a huge gulf in quality there between the teams. And if you actually go through Ipswich's team, it's a lot of its Championship level quality still. And you're seeing that in the games. And you're seeing that by how many goals. I just mentioned there, 54 goals they've conceded. That's a lot. That's a lot that's gone in. And I think the goalkeeper, for me, is a big part of that. In terms of weakness as an actual team, I touched on it before, but obviously there was new people that have joined it. Susceptible to counter-attacks when they flood the box. Set-piece organisation could be questionable. They can look flaky at times, but that's what you get when Championship players come up to the Premier League. Liam Delap wanted to stay on for 5 minutes or so because I think he's someone who we have been linked with before. A lot of people are not having him, which I get, I understand. It's his first proper senior season in the Premier League. But again, a lot of the market nowadays, you are buying just potential and what could you bring in, basically. I mean, Rasmus Højlund, we paid £70 million for him. So it's not going to be like, if it doesn't work out, it's the end of the world. Do you know what I mean? It's different. I don't know how much that would go for. I don't know how much Ipswich would command for him, personally. So it all depends on that type of deal. But we are seeing a lot of stuff about Osman today, to be fair. Romano reported about it. I was going to go live for it, but we spoken about Osman yesterday because the #1 journalist in Turkey, who's basically the Romano of Turkey, reported about this and was saying that he wants to join Man United. So it weren't breaking news in that sense. We already knew it. It's come from a source, but obviously because Romano's confirmed it, everyone's like, oh my God, yeah, crazy, Osman. I reckon the journalist probably just sat there thinking, I reported this yesterday, mate. So, yeah, Osman is definitely one I would be interested in. We was having a couple of back and forths in the WhatsApp chat before about him as a player and would we take him? I mean, it's not even a question, would we take him? We've got Højlund up top. That's our only striker at the moment. Obviously, I would fucking take him. Now, the rumours are that he would want around, I think it's like 200 grand a week. 190 grand a week, I think it is. Which, if you're a player of his quality, is absolutely warranted. And if you're a player who's coming into Manchester United and you're looking at players on the wage bill, Anthony 200 grand a week, Maguire 200 grand a week, you can absolutely command. I think that's a fair wage to give someone who's a seasoned top striker in Europe. This is a guy who, top goal scorer in Serie A, was top 5 for pressures per 90 in the Italian league as well. So obviously works extremely hard. He's strong. He's great in duels. Something got pointed out to me that his touch as well can be off at times. It's not always the best, but he's a lethal finisher and he's good in the air as well. I would consider him. You got to look at what we got in a minute. It doesn't look like Gyökeres is going to happen. So if Osman is the other thing that we can get, the only thing, because once you go down from that, then the quality starts dropping. It really does. Who else do you go to? If you can't get Gyökeres, you can't get Osman. Then you start looking at your Liam Delaps and players like that, who I actually think Ineos will probably end up going for. I know Jason Wilcox, who's obviously having a big say now in that kind of department at United, worked with Liam Delap at City, I believe, so he knows all about him. So, but I do trust Wilcox, to be fair. I think a lot of the players, he was pushing through Garte, for example, when Ten Hag didn't want him. I think he was looking at Dorgu as well, who seems like a good fit at the moment. Obviously, very early stages. So I would trust in Wilcox's opinion if it's coming from him. Must-win game, fellas. No pressure, lads. It's Ipswich. James asking, question, Nick. Assuming all goes well, with a permanent move for Rashford, Anthony and Casemiro going, which areas do we need to strengthen most importantly in the summer? Well, one of the positions I was just talking about, number 9, is #1 priority for me. 100% #1 priority. After that, it's a wing back for sure. I think if you bring in Osman as your 9, you put Giovanni Kenda as your right wing back, and then the argument is the next priority then, because there's a few. I would still keep an eye on the goalkeeper. I don't trust him at all. I still want another centre back. I want a quick, athletic centre-back who's good on the ball. Maybe go for a Branthwaite, or maybe they're going in a different direction. I'm not sure, but look at that left-side centre-half, especially with Lissandro being out for so long. That is an area I would target. And then in midfield, you need someone alongside Ugarte, in my opinion, who is good at everything. He's athletic, he's fantastic on the ball, long-range passing is really, really good. I don't know who that is. Edison from Atalanta, someone I like. Rangers from Milan I've spoken about. Guimarães is a fantastic player, but I don't think he'd ever join United because I think there are other clubs who are interested. So there's a lot of players that United need to go and get. We need to buy another attacker as well in one of those inside 10 roles that suits it more. Way too many priorities at the minute. Way too many, unfortunately. But it's a good question. I feel like we're lacking all over the pitch, and I can't seem to prioritise apart from goals from one source from another. UTFR say get 3 points tonight, and I reckon we're more or less safe. Samu Gyökeres or Osman. Yeah, Samu, I can't pronounce his second name, but I know Samu from Porto is a decent striker. Pat May says, major worry for me is if Ugarte gets injured, where would that leave us? Yeah, I touched on that at the start. When I was going through the team, I was like, if Ugarte got injured now, we'd be back to Casemiro and Eriksen dragging him out of the care room and taking the blankets off him and saying, go play. Casemiro, for me, is so done at this level. I thought initially when Ruud came in and he was playing, I was like, interesting. Could be something here. Have a pause, man. Sorry, people, if I've disconnected, OBS is having a bit of it fell asleep. Disconnected, reconnected now. Hopefully, you can still hear me. If you can't, then just message in the chat, but it should be fine now. Carl saying, no Champions League football next season. Who knows? We might win the Europa League, mate. Who knows? Don't count your chickens just yet. Stranger things have happened, haven't they? Stranger things have happened. Barcelona can't afford a packet of digestive biscuits. Spot on. UTFR with his wish list in early. Do you remember back in the day we used to circle things in an Argos catalogue that you wanted? It's like we're going through now, going Osman, Kenda, Edison. Maybe that's the way they do it. I don't know. Osman, Kenda, Edison, Lammers, goalkeeper, Mastutuano, who's a South American talent, I think. Inacio or Silva at centre back. Inacio, for me, I'm not fully convinced on. I don't think he's. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe people have watched him more. From my first initial opinion when I watched him, I don't think he would suit the physicality of the Premier League. I think it's quite slight from what I've seen. But that was just my first assessment. I've seen him a handful of times for Sporting, so I would trust a more kind of expert opinion in that. Now, do we have any quotes going out from the manager before I get into the betting slip? Let me have a look. And please do, I know I repeat it a lot, I apologise. Smash that like button if you can. It just lets the algorithm know that you enjoy the content. Comment, subscribe. All of it's really appreciated. I know sometimes people are like, I can't be asked. That's absolutely fine. Rio Ferdinand's just been asked on how toxic it would be at United if they lost to Ipswich. He said, I'd be concerned tonight if United don't start well and make it a hard game out of this. Ruben Amorim saying it's a big game for us. We need to win. We need to have the 3 points. So in the end of the game, we should be here with the 3 points and a better performance than last week. Should be in the key word, Ruben. How many times have we said that before? For many games, we have the disadvantage first and then we start playing football. So our goal is to start first and the first minute. If only that'd be simple. On confidence, he says it's everything. If you see any team when they play with confidence, sometimes you think that's not the same team or the same players. That can happen on both sides, so we need to win no matter what to increase the confidence inside. He got asked about the mood in training this week. He said, of course, it's always hard with everything that's happening in our club, but in football, the next game is the most important thing, so we can change the mood in one game, and when the club like us, when we don't win, the mood should be like it is. I mean, it's just too many of the same things being repeated here, Amorim. 20 minutes in one game is a quarter of the game, so we need to start in the beginning. Yeah, yada, yada. Same old kind of stuff. On the bench, we've got 2 youth team goalkeepers, Lindelof, Haven, Mazraoui, Eriksen, Casemiro, and Chido. So you're looking for someone to have an impact off the bench. Chido in the last 10 is one that you're looking for. That is quite literally it. We've got Hubert, Grejak, I can't pronounce his name, Eli Harrison, Lindelof, Mazraoui, Eriksen, Casemiro, Haven, and Chido. Have they got anyone? They got Schmodix. on the bench. I mean, their bench isn't much better, to be fair. I don't know if anyone asked for Ipswich team, but it's Palmer in net, Leif Davis, Morse, you got Kajust, Delap, Hutchinson, Greaves, O'Shea, Philogene, Twanzebe, and Clark. I know that's mixed up, but that's how it reads out on the sheet, so I'm sorry, but you can deal with that. Do we have any other quotes coming out? Relegation Reds is trending. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Imagine, it's 2025 and relegation's trending for United. Ugh, makes me sick. Makes me bloody sick, it does. Okay, let's do the betting slip for this game then. I'm going to go. What's going to happen in this? Get yours in the comments. What is going to happen in this game? Whether it's yellow cards, assist, goals, both teams to score, etc. Whatever it is. I'm going to go. I was quite close last time. In my prediction, I think. I think Ipswich will score first. I think there'll be a Bruno penalty. I think Maguire yellow card because he'll be scrapping with the lap, and I think it'll be a draw. Rainator saying VAR mistake, Dorgu assist, Bruno goal, 2-1 win. Are we getting Pogba back? You know what? I'm having United 3-1. That's from UTFR. What are we saying in the TikTok? Tim99, 2-0, Garnacho brace. I would take it all day. Because we got no goals at all. You got no goals, brother. Nothing in this side. So I would take that. I'm glad everyone's saying they're going to win. I like the positivity and the confidence. I hope you guys are right. Anyway, really, really do. Listen, me, Sam, and Chivet are going to be live after the game with the post-match analysis, as we always are. So, yeah, I'd love to see as many of you as possible in there. Do not say that. Isaac's out of the Newcastle squad. Oh, he's my captain as well. Oh, no. Oh, wounded. Is he actually out? Fucking hell, man. I need to double check that. I believe you're Rainator, but that is, if that's true. That's a piss take, if it is. Okay. The lineup would be before the match. What are you talking about? It's before the match, you idiot. Get me on a different website here. What's a fucking Google can't get me the lineup for Liverpool? Are you joking? It's not giving it me. Let's go on. Sulphur Score is the one to go to. Oh, this is weird. Why isn't it letting me see? Oh, let's go to Premier League app, actually. Sorry, this is like breaking news, important stuff, this. I got Isaac as my captain, and he's not fucking starting. Pope, Shah, Hall, Livramento, Byrne, Willock, Guimaraes, Tonali, Gordon, Wilson, Murphy. And he's not even on the bench. That is a piss take. Van Dijk, Alisson, Van Dijk, Kanate, Diaz, Szoboszlai, McAllister, Salah, Jota, Shimikaz, Gravenberch, Trent. That's annoying. Well, I've basically lost my league. So I might as well have said. Handling, I've got Rodgers in my team already, Tim, to be fair. I've got him in. Who's my vice captain? I think it's... Oh, it's a good point, actually. I can't check because I'm live on Thinger. You're hoping, mate, Ipswich will give it all tonight. I know they will. And I'm under no illusion. Trust me. I am under no illusion that we'll smash this game. Trust me. I'm not. I get it. It's going to be a very, very difficult time. Vice captain. I'm trying to think who I put as my vice captain. It would have been Salah, I'm sure. But I don't know because it's the same on the Sun Dream Team thing. I'm not sure if it's the same. I don't know. I really, really don't know. I need to check, to be fair. It's really annoying. I'll see. Anyway. Arsenal fans are broken seeing that Newcastle team. I mean, Arsenal got to focus themselves on the Forest game. I don't think they're going to get 3 points against them tonight. At Forest as well. Like, their record at home is really, really good. So, I'm sorry, but I do not see it at all. Right, people, I will let you go ahead and watch the match. Make your notes. Bring your points. because we'll be live straight after it, literally as soon as the final whistle blows. Me, Chevy, and Sam will be discussing it in depth. I am at some point I'm going to bring watch-alongs back when the demand is there and there's a community there that I can watch it with, because that's the important bit. I don't want to just do it on my own. I want to watch it with people, right? So when there's a community there and there's interest there, I will do watch-alongs, no problem whatsoever. But for now, go and watch the game. I'll see you after it. Appreciate you all tuning in. Smash like the video.